Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, a facelift for Citizens Field. We're live with the latest city plans to renovate the stadium that's been home to thousands of local athletes throughout the decades.
Plus, a second assassination attempt on former President Trump. The FBI is working to learn more about the suspect and his motive for the attempted attack. And college students struggling to meet basic needs. How a UF organization is working to combat food insecurity among undergrads. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Plans to address renovations at Citizens Field have been swirling around Gainesville, but we learned no major upgrades are happening anytime soon. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Natasha Holt.
And I'm Alex Land. Citizens Field is home to 3 Gainesville football teams, so it receives quite a bit of wear and tear. WUFT's Chrystie Blot is live at Citizens Field. Chrystie, you learned there are some minor renovations happening soon.
Citizens Field, home to all Gainesville public football teams, is the subject of a local rumor mill. Today, the city confirmed that any major construction is years away, but small upgrades may be coming soon. Earlier this month, the city debunked online rumors of Citizens Field becoming a parking lot, but we spoke with the city's public information officer today who laid out some of the plans for the citizens and the surrounding area. That includes the city's wild spaces and public places, is working on upgrades to the locker rooms and restrooms. ACPS spokesperson Jackie Johnson said the city previously held a 40-year lease with Citizens Field, but now the lease is renewed on a yearly basis and has already been renewed for the next year.
They are apparently looking at some plans to really do a massive renovation of the whole area. What that would entail, we don't know. Nothing's been announced. But in the meantime, we're sort of in a little bit of a limbo when it comes to making any major improvements to the facility.
What we do know is there is a feasibility test done last October and an architectural study conducted last month, and any recommendations for renovations will come from that. The plans for improvement could include expanding the MLK Jr. Multipurpose Center, improvements to the Dwight H. Hunter Northeast Pool, and a new fire station. Live from Citizens Field, Chrystie Blot, WUFT News.
Taking a look at the UF weather radar on this muggy Monday, there's not much happening this evening across north central Florida. You can see some showers and rain in parts of our area. It's been humid and a hot day outside as we take a live look at Paynes Prairie. It's a big difference from last week where we saw showers nearly every day. But that doesn't mean we'll stay dry this week. UF meteorologist William Maxham is tracking when we could see our next round of storms.
Well, depending on where you are, you could see a shower tonight, but chances aren't really very good, especially in Alessia County where we don't have any rain right now. But between Gainesville and Jacksonville, there's probably a bucket full of raindrops. That's about it. A little bit healthier showers located now in Marion County. We've got a couple more hours where we could see a bit of rain coming our way. Temperatures haven't been so extreme today. We have a light north wind. It's in the 70s right now in most of North Florida, a little bit warmer as you head southward. It's 87 degrees currently in the village. That's a bit of a difference between those upper 70s. We're sitting between 2 tropical areas of low pressure, dying Francine, and another one moving into South Carolina. That's going to keep our weather a bit unsettled over the next couple of days. I'll have your complete forecast in a few minutes.
A man with a criminal history is behind bars today, facing federal gun charges. The FBI believes he intended to assassinate former President Trump. As Alice Barr reports, the acting Secret Service director is in Florida today to meet with Mr. Trump as the investigation into who the suspect is and a possible motive ramps up.
Keep walking!
New body cam footage released today showing the moment sheriff's deputies brought an apparent would-be assassin into custody. The acting Secret Service director meeting with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago after the second threat to his life in 9 weeks. The suspect, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Ruth, making his first court appearance today, so far facing gun-related charges. He's accused of hiding out and pointing a semi-automatic rifle less than 500 yards from where former former President Trump was golfing at his course in West Palm Beach, Florida. A Secret Service agent spotted a gunman in the bushes just outside the fence and fired at him. The man took off, but not before an alert witness snapped a picture of his car that sheriff's deputies quickly tracked down.
Did the one witness make it all possible? The answer is unequivocally yes.
Former President Trump was not hurt. In a Fox News digital interview, he blamed rhetoric from President Biden and Vice President Harris, though the suspect's motive remains unknown. The president and vice president, on the other hand, both sharply condemned political violence, calling for more Secret Service support.
Thank God the president's okay. I think we got a full report so far. We're down there tonight. But one thing I want to make clear, the service needs more help. And I think the Congress should respond to their needs if they in fact need more services.
As members of both parties call to tamp down heated rhetoric, the investigation is ramping up. Ruth has a long criminal history and has been outspoken in his support for Ukraine. In 2020, he told former President Trump on social media that he supported him in 2016, but called his time in office a disappointment. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Members of Congress representing North Central Florida have been outspoken in their support of former President Trump after Sunday's second assassination attempt. Congresswoman Kat Cammack posted on X thanking the Secret Service and local law enforcement officers who were involved in stopping and arresting the suspect. Congressman Mike Waltz appeared on Fox News Sunday evening, where he too praised law enforcement and called for a stop to what he said is dangerous rhetoric behind the assassination attempts.
We now have multiple assassination attempts in a matter of months. And when you have this narrative coming from the left, from media, from elected officials even, that Trump has to be stopped by any means necessary, it shouldn't surprise anyone that these people are being radicalized and taking action like this.
Congressman Waltz has been serving on the U.S. House Assassination Task Force since its formation in late July.
If you have Florida prepaid, you might be eligible for a larger refund. Governor Ron DeSantis announced today that more families are getting their money back from Florida prepaid. The program allows parents to pay for their children's tuition to state schools in advance. Governor Ron DeSantis says tuition prices have not increased since 2019.
And as part of lowering that, as part of recognizing that tuition in Florida hasn't gone up, what the prepaid board has done is they have authorized $850 million worth of refunds to prepaid families.
For the last 6 years, Florida has ranked #1 in higher education, and 77% of all Florida undergraduates were loan-free.
After the break, fuel costs start to go down. How experts say the cost might lower to $2 a gallon.
Then, combating food insecurity. How local college food pantries help those facing food scarcity. All this and more when First at 5 returns.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
College students are often juggling multiple responsibilities from their studies to their jobs, but new data says food insecurity is now becoming an unwanted addition to their plates.
And the rise of campus food pantries is growing. WUFT's Alessia Lawayen is live in the studio with resources local students can use to keep from being hungry.
The USDA reports that as of 2022, at least 25% of college students face some type of food insecurity. Several campuses, including here at the University of Florida, are addressing those needs by offering weekly food pantries. I stopped by UF's Field and Fork Food Pantry to learn more about this valuable resource for students and faculty. Efforts from the Field and Fork Pantry at the University of Florida aim to minimize food insecurity among students and faculty by providing non-perishable items and fresh produce weekly. Behind these service doors, students work diligently to ensure the pantry is stocked with its necessities. Food pantry employee Camila Arenas tells me working here gives them a sense of purpose.
It feels like I'm very involved, like I have a sense of community, definitely, from working here.
Florida Health Charts reports that Alachua County's food insecurity rates are notably higher than the state average of Florida. Alachua County at 11.1% and Florida's at 10.6% as of 2021. And those numbers aren't shocking to pantry manager Lori Benson.
We do, and I'm not surprised about the percentage because we do get a lot of phone calls from people that are outside of the UF community wanting access to a food pantry.
The study by USDA states college campus food pantries have surged in the last 20 years from just 88 in 2012 to more than 800 in 2022.
I think especially for a lot of people who are coming from far away from home and maybe don't know how the grocery system here works, or they're finding their footing in a new place, this is always a great asset. I think our mission here is to just tell people that we're available, and if they need help, that there is a place for them.
Benson encourages the Gainesville community to offer contributions to address Alachua County's ongoing food insecurity crisis that serves more than just students. Lori Benson also says the food pantry is not supported by the university, so they rely on help from outside donations to stay in business. If you're willing to donate, Benson says just drop the items by during their open hours of operation. Live in the studio, Alessia, Lawayen, WUFT News.
Gasoline prices in Florida have hit a nearly 8-month low, and with statewide average dropping 6 cents a gallon over the past week as demand and oil costs have declined. According to the AAA Auto Club, the average price of a gallon of regular unleaded is now $3.09. A AAA spokesman, Mark Jenkins, says crude oil prices continue to suffer big losses due to global economic concerns and the belief that global fuel supplies could begin to outpace demand.
About 25% of Florida retailers have gasoline below $3 a gallon, and there's a good chance that $3 a gallon or even below could become even more of a common sight throughout the state in the coming days.
To the decrease in demand and oil costs, prices typically fall in mid-September as refineries begin conversion to cheaper winter blends of gasoline. The national average price was $3.21 per gallon on Monday.
Is there too much peanut butter in your pantry? Donate some to your furry friends. The Marion County Animal Services is in need of peanut butter, old-fashioned oats, and cans of pedigree. Peanut butter donations should be standard, not honey, flavored, or sugar-free, otherwise they could be deadly to dogs. They are open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Tuesday to Saturday at 5701 Southeast 66th Street in Ocala. The Ocala Police Department is holding a town hall event tonight to keep your children safe. The event will be dedicated to online safety for kids. The Ocala Police Department will join forces with the Marion County Sheriff's Office to discuss preventing online crimes. The event is at 6 p.m. in the Weber Center. Admission is for adults only because of the sensitive topics being discussed.
Marion County will see 2 new schools next year to address growth in the area. 2 new elementary schools are scheduled to open in August of 2025. Parents of elementary students in Marion County Public Schools are invited to attend a community meeting. MCPS staff will share information about attendance boundaries, rezoning plans, curriculum programs, and receive community input, as well as share transportation options for students zoned for the new schools at tonight's meeting. Students who attend any of the following elementary schools will be affected by the rezoning change. That includes Bellevue, Bellevue Santos, Hammett Bowen Jr., Legacy, Marion Oaks, Saddlewood, and Sunrise Elementary Schools. The meeting will be held in the Hammett Bowen Jr. Elementary School cafeteria at 6 p.m. Parents can also fill out an input form on marionschools.net.
Well, if you're taking your little buddy out for a walk when you get home, we've got temperatures into the 70s and 80s this evening and only a small chance of showers, but we do have a little taste of fall weather coming up. Your forecast is next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. We are cloudy, temperatures in the upper 70s around the University of Florida. We're not seeing much rain, but that north wind is helping to drop temperatures just a touch. And tonight we'll get some cool temperatures, cooler than we've seen in about a month for overnight lows, but it's still going to be kind of hot and muggy over the next few days. That light north wind, it's cooled a lot of North Florida into the 70s, but we still have some warmer air located to our south villages at 86. It's 84 in Ocala, and near Ocala is where we're seeing the showers and thunderstorms. Basically, it's Marion County that's picking up the rain this evening, but I couldn't completely rule out a shower or two through the next several hours. We do have one tropical system. It's not a named storm, but it is an area of low pressure now, a depression, 35-mile-an-hour winds here, and that's actually what's driving down those north winds. It's moving to the north at around 7 miles an hour, and it's making for a lot of heavy rainfall into the Carolinas. In fact, flooding is a big concern for North Carolina on the east side of that storm. That is where they're seeing rainfall rates in the neighborhood of 2 inches per hour. And there's also potentially a chance of seeing a few isolated tornadoes there as this area of low pressure moves on shore tonight into early part of the day tomorrow. That's just one tropical system. The other one is Gordon. That one is not moving towards the U.S. mainland, but this storm near Carolina, if it did happen to form into a named storm, it would have been Helene, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. The storm is going to be moving on shore in the next few hours, and it's going to continue moving northward inland. Through the next couple days, we're still going to be under some influence from the remnants of Francine. That's this guy over here, and that's going to make for some showers, spotty showers, but a couple sprinkles potentially through the evening, and then another round of showers potentially tomorrow too. About a 30% chance of seeing rain. Got that tropical low in the neighborhood, so we still have some chance of showers on our Wednesday, but after that things start to change, and we're actually expecting some drier air to begin to move into our area as we close out the work week and move into the weekend. That's going to mean hot and humid temperatures into the upper 80s and 90s. Well, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable as we get into the weekend. We're going to get temperatures into the 60s in the overnight, so a nice cool end of the weekend, but we're still showery and unsettled through the next few.
Coming up on WUFT Sports, there has been a lot of talk about Gator football and head coach Billy Napier after Florida's first conference game resulted in a tough loss against Texas A&M. You'll hear from starting quarterback Graham Mertz on the situation, as well as comments from Coach Billy Napier's press conference this morning, and much more for you when we come back after the break for sports.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome into sports. I'm Madison Walker. Saturday, the Gator football team added another loss to their record after crumbling to the Texas A&M Aggies 33-20. After this weekend, Florida's record is now 1-2 on the season and 0-1 in SEC play.
Through all kinds of weather, they all stuck together. A sold-out Swamp crowd endured a lightning delay, pouring rain, and another poor performance from the Florida Gators. The Gators defense had no answer for the Aggie rushing attack in their 33-20 loss against Texas A&M, allowing the Aggies to rack up over 300 yards on the ground. Florida quarterbacks Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway were under center for alternating possessions, but neither QB could sustain a drive. By the time the game was suspended after the first quarter, the Aggies had more points than the Gators had total yards, and the fans were quick to express their disappointment. Florida head coach Billy Napier said he expects to get booed when his team struggles.
When you play a certain way in this arena, you're going to be criticized.
Following the Gators' second home loss in 3 weeks, support for Napier is dwindling, with many fans calling for his firing. But starting quarterback Graham Mertz said he and his teammates support their head coach.
Our coaches are fantastic, and I think that we need to do a better job as players of putting ourselves in the right position and executing.
Napier may have support from his players, but tensions outside the locker room are at an all-time high. After week 3 of the season, the Florida Gators still have far more questions than answers. Reporting from Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, Ben McLeish, WUFT Sports.
Staying with the topic of Florida football and head coach Billy Napier, Napier spoke at a press conference earlier today following the loss against Texas A&M and the questions around the security of his position at Florida. WUFT's Talia Baia was able to attend to see just exactly how the situation is unfolding and is standing by now with more.
It has been confirmed that Florida's head coach Billy Napier has not discussed with the school about the future of his job. This morning in a press conference, when asked about meeting with the team regarding his job status, Napier said in a press conference this morning that, quote, none of those discussions have occurred. ESPN's Chris Lowe reported on Saturday that boosters have gathered the money to fund Napier's contract buyout of roughly $26 million. However, this morning, Napier only kept his focus on Florida's upcoming matchup instead of his job security.
You know, we're going to put the game to bed today from Saturday, and then it's about doing my absolute best to prepare the team to play next Saturday. And we can't live in the shoulda, coulda, woulda, if, then, all that.
Just 1-2 to open their 2024 campaign, which is the team's first losing record after 3 games in 32 years. If the Gators are unable to defeat the Bulldogs on Saturday, speculation surrounding Napier's job security and the potential buyout of the remainder of his contract will continue to increase. Reporting for WFT Sports, Talia Baia.
Moving over to high school football, last week's game of the week, Buchholz versus Manatee, resulted in the Bobcats getting handed their first loss of the season on Friday, falling to the Manatee Hurricanes 34-27. This makes Buchholz's new record 3-1, also matching Manatee's new record of 3-1. Around the area, we saw other high school teams like Newberry losing.
Before we go, let's have one last check at the weather.
Yeah, our forecast is looking a little bit like we'll see hit and miss showers over the next few days. They're going to be mostly miss rather than hit over the next few, and we do get drier and a little less humid into the weekend. Temperatures a little more comfortable by Monday.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow with another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.